Hey everyone, it's Laura here from makingcardsisfun.com, and today I will be reviewing the Couture color inks from the Ton. So the Ton just released 31 ink pads, including dye inks, hybrid inks, and 2 pigment inks, and I will be showcasing them all in today's video. So I created individual swatches, so little cards like these, and I also created larger little cards so you can swatch the bundles. All of these swatches are available at my blog, and it's a free download, so you can download them and then you can print them on some white paper. I used some Nina white cardstock to print these. First, I will be showing you the individual colors, and then I will be showing you the bundles. So in total there are 10 bundles. I only swatched 9 of them, since there's one bundle that has like the darker ink, so 2 black inks and 1 white pigment ink. So I couldn't really swatch that on a card because that was just a little bit hard to do. So I only swatched like the really bright colors. But I will show you that later. I'm going to start with these 3 pink colors. So these 3 pink colors are called Rose Quartz, Soft Garnet, and Red Sangria. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. So here are these 3 colors. As you can see, the Rose Quartz is a really light pink, and then the Soft Garnet is like a mid-tone in between these 2 colors, and the Red Sangria is a really bright pink. It's almost like a red color, but it's really gorgeous. So here are the little ink boxes. So these are the ink pads in all of their glory. So they're a little bit hard to open in the beginning, but I like that because that way your ink pad won't be able to dry out. These ink pads are really juicy, and you can really see that in the direct sunlight. So they're really juicy, and they're just really easy to stamp with, and as you can see, they also give like the perfect solid results. So the colors on the lid are very similar to the stamped colors, as you can see. However, I still like to swatch them on individual cards, since it's just easy to grab these and put them together to see which combinations will work and which combinations aren't that pretty. So these 3 inks are also available in a bundle, and this is called the Ruby Collection. So this is what these 3 inks look like when you stamp them together. So I used a peony stamp set from the Ton to swatch these inks, and I stamped the solid layer using Rose Quartz. Then I stamped the second layer using Soft Garnet, and then the third layer I stamped with Red Sangria ink. I used the Fresh Cut Peonies stamp set to stamp these little swatch cards. This is a stamp set from the Ton, and I used this peony over here. So I always stamp this layer with the lightest color, then the second layer with the mid-tone color, and then the third layer with the darkest color. So as you can see, these inks really work well to stamp layered images like these peonies. So the second set is called Peony Collection, which is a perfect name for these inks. First color is Ballet Slippers. This is like a really soft pink with a little bit of a lilac undertone in it. So you can also use that as a really light pink, really light purple color. As you can see, there's quite a difference between the Ballet Slippers and the Rose Quartz. Ballet Slippers is more like a lilac color, while the Rose Quartz is like a true soft pink color. So these colors are called Ballet Slippers, Hollywood Star, and Cosmopolitan Pink. And this is what these colors look like when you stamp a flower with those. There's quite a difference between the Ruby Collection and the Peony Collection. The Ruby Collection is more like a true pink with a little bit of red in there, while the Peony Collection is, well, more like a bubblegum pink instead of like this pink over here, if that makes any sense. And then here you can see how these colors compare. So you can really see a difference. So this here is the Ruby Collection, and then over here you have the Peony Collection. I really like both, but my favorite is the Ruby collection. Then there's the Orchid collection, and you can also get the individual colors, of course, so that's why I'm also showing you them individually. So there's Soft Orchid, Orchid Crush, and Grand Fuchsia. So Soft Orchid is the lightest color of them all. Looks quite dark on the ink pad, but when you stamp it, it's really light and pretty. And I think that this Soft Orchid color would work really well with the ballet slippers as well. So you could totally use these two to stamp a layered flower as well, because I think that would look really pretty. And you can even use it with the Orchid Crush as a third layer. So the second color is Orchid Crush, and then there's the Grand Fuchsia, which is a really beautiful and solid fuchsia color, which is simply amazing. It's kind of similar to the Cosmopolitan Pink, however the Grand Fuchsia is darker and even more brighter. So it is similar but not the same, since this is way brighter and darker as well. And this is what these three colors look like when you stamp them together. This is the Orchid collection. I'm just going to show you what these three other colors would look like together. So when you mix ballet slippers, Soft Orchid, and Orchid Crush, because I think that combination would work really well too. Okay, so I have a piece of scrap paper over here, and I'm going to stamp these three colors together, since I think that would be a really beautiful combination as well. So I'm going to stamp the ballet slippers first. I am using the Fresh Cut Peonies stamp set. So this is the same stamp set I used for all my other swatch cards. And then I'm going to stamp that second layer using this Soft Orchid color. Then I'll be stamping the last color, Orchid Crush. There we go. So I think that looks really beautiful as well. So this is ballet slippers, Soft Orchid, and Orchid Crush, and I think that looks really gorgeous as well. So it's like a perfect soft lilac piece. Since we're kind of covering the purple tones right now, I want to show you the Amethyst collection. So these three colors are called Soft Amethyst, Iris Blooms, and Violet Fringe. Soft Amethyst is the lightest color, so this is a really beautiful light lilac color. Then there's Iris Blooms, which is like my favorite purple tone of these three, and then there's Violet Fringe, which is like a really deep purple, and it almost looks like a blue, but it's still. There are also some really gorgeous mint colors in this collection. The light color, or the light mint, is called a Lofty Mint. And then there's Bright Emerald and Hot Tourmaline. So these are the three colors. I am in love with that Lofty Mint, and that Bright Emerald is like pure perfection. So these are the three colors in their little ink pads. This is probably one of my favorite combinations, since I'm like crazy about mint. And this is what these three colors look like when you stamp them together. I wouldn't really stamp like mint flowers, but I mean, you could be a fan of mint flowers, so of course you could do that, but there are plenty of other building stamp sets out there, like the bows from the ton. I think mint bows would look really pretty as well. But yeah, I really love these individual colors, and I love how these look. Then there are also some blue inks in this collection. This is the Blue Diamond color, which is the lightest color of the three. Then there's a Cobalt Breeze, and then there's a Parisian blue color. And you can also get these three colors in a bundle, and this color bundle is called the Blues Collection. So let's get on with some more yellow colors. So there are three yellow colors, and then the third color is more of a soft orange color. So then the three colors are called Vanilla Frosted Cupcake, Beach Blondie, and Amber Citrine. And this collection is called the Citrine collection. I think these are really beautiful, and the amber citrine almost looks like a gold, but without the shimmer, of course. And I really love how these look together. The vanilla frosted cupcake is a really gorgeous color. It's quite unique because I haven't seen any color like this. So I'm really happy to add this color to my collection. Then there's a coral collection. I am really excited about this collection because I like to use coral colors for summer. So the lightest color is called Peach Blossom, which is a perfect peach color. Then there's Coraline, which is more of like a true orange color, but it still has a coral touch to it. And then finally there's a Spiced Chai color, which is a really deep orange color, almost like a brown. I think this looks absolutely beautiful. I'm not used to using colors like these, but I'll definitely be using these more often since this is such a gorgeous color. First color is a Crystal Pewter, and this is a really soft gray color. And then there's Smoky Quartz, which is like a little bit darker than a Crystal Pewter. And there's Light Onyx, which is a really beautiful darker gray color. Then there's the Onyx collection, which I didn't swatch on a card like this because it's not possible to do that since there are 2 black inks and 1 white pigment ink. But I did swatch them on individual little cards. So this little bundle comes with 3 ink pads. The first one is called the Noir ink pad. This is just a regular dye ink pad, and this is like your standard black dye ink. And then there's also the Caviar ink, which is a hybrid ink. So the hybrid ink is different than the dye ink. It's the same color, it's just black, but the hybrid ink, so the Caviar color, works with Copic markers. The Noir dye ink doesn't work with Copic markers because that will bleed, but the Caviar color just simply works with Copic markers. So that's the Caviar color over here. And then there's also a Hampton White pigment ink. So this is a regular white pigment ink. It's a really juicy white pigment ink that stamps really well, and as you can see, it gives a really smooth result. Then I have one more color to show you. This is a color I am the most excited about, since this is a rose gold color. This is the first ever rose gold pigment ink, and I'm so happy that the Ton just released this color. This is called the Rose Gold Bangle ink, and on camera it looks more like a brown or like a regular gold, but in real life you can really see that looks like a rose gold. I think it's just really fantastic. I really love this. It also has a lot of shine in there. Maybe you can catch that. There's like a little bit of glitter in there, which I really like. And when you purchase the ink, it comes in so you will get an empty ink pad, and then you will also get the pigment, so you will get like a refill. I just grabbed the ink pads, I opened that, obviously, and then I took off this little plastic cap, and then I just added the pigment. I didn't add that much, and it's really, it's fine like this. As you can see, I didn't even cover up those edges, but it works like that. You only need like a really small amount of ink to cover your stamp. It is important to keep this little plastic lid because that will make sure that your ink pad won't dry out. So you can just put that on there, and then you can close your ink pads, and then it will stay all moistured. And even though, when it dries out, you can use this little guy over here to refill it. So that's it. That's my review on the Couture color ink pads from the Ton. You can go over to my blog for more pictures of all of the colors and all of the bundles. And I will also have a downloadable file so you can create these swatches yourself. And all of the ink pads are available at the Ton. I have links to all of the ink pads in the video description below or in the supply list in my blog post. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back very soon. Bye bye!